Yippee-ki-yay, melon farmer.
Hey, welcome back, knife nerds and everyday care people. It's your boy, the Big Canucker, and we got ourselves something here that's a little bit special. This happens to be a Blade HQ Vanguard series SheepDog liner lock with thumb hole, micarta, and CPM-10V. Is that ever a mouthful or what? Let's kind of put that away here. This is an extremely rare knife that is made from steel that comes from the you know what, Kizers, SheepDogs are out there. There are so many. I mean, on let's just see here, Blades Canada, I think there's a dozen different versions alone. This one here though happens to be a Blade HQ exclusive, and the big thing about this is it's got CPM-10V steel. Now before we look at this, I just quickly want to say, if you like what you see here, please don't forget to subscribe, as well as leave something in the comments there for me and share. Help me to spread my voice. I appreciate it so much, you guys. So don't forget to hit that old thumbs up as well as subscribe. Now let's get back to this this fine example of a cutting instrument. The CPM-10V is an incredible steel when it's hardened properly. Now, I did a little bit of research on there because I bought one of these a long time ago. It is a Spyderco K2, and it had the 10V steel on it. I was a little bit curious because I hadn't seen that around. And I did a bit of research, and there was a fella making fixed blades, and he did a cutting test with it, and he cut through 1/2-inch hemp rope 2,500 times before he said that the knife even thought about needing to be sharpened. He said basically his hand gave out before the before the steel did. So 2,500 times through a manila rope, and his hand gave out, and he ended up stopping there. And I thought, oh my goodness, that's incredible. Man, I don't think my hand would give out after 2,500 times, but I'm an ugly man. All right, so love this. You know what? I really dug this knife. When I first got it here, this was kind of a throw-in on a second deal. I ended up buying a TRM Atom, and it came for kind of a 2-for-1 deal. And I ended up getting this, and I thought, well, the Kizer SheepDog, let's give it a go. I cleaned it up a little bit. I sharpened it using my KME diamonds, and I cut a smoke load of cardboard with this, and it is still incredibly sharp. I'm so impressed with this. Now, I don't think this thing is hardened as much as the K2 is. The K2, I do believe, is somewhere around 67, 68. And that's where you're, sorry, 65 to 66. And that's where you're going to get your best edge retention. Is going to be in your upper 60s, kind of low 70s, even before it starts to get brittle. Or this one, I would guess this is probably in its kind of low 60s, because it did sharpen fairly easy, quite a bit better than the K2, but it still was a little bit of a bear to sharpen. If you've got yourself some carborundum stones and stuff like that, it's going to take an awful lot of time with some of these super steels. I recommend you kind of go with diamond. Now, this is running on a set of phosphor bronze washers. There's no bearings in this, but I gotta say, this thing here is so drop shut, and I don't know if it's because this is a pre-owned and it's kind of broken in, or if it's like this right out of the box. But I gotta say, if it's like this right out of the box, Kizer's doing a fantastic job with these knives. And if not, it'll eventually work out to that, because this is a little bit of a kind of a big blade. This blade is like 1.5 inch wide. So even though it's only 1/1300ths wide, it's still, or 1/1300ths thick, it's got a nice 1.5 inch wide blade. Now we'll go over some of the numbers on this. Overall length is 7.75 inches. The blade length is 3.25. Cutting length is 3.125 inches. And like I said, it's 1.5 inch thick. Now the blade thickness is 1/1300th. It is 10V, CPM-10V, and it's got a black coating on it. Now I'm not sure if this is a DLC coating, but you can see here where it is starting to kind of give up the ghost here a little bit. I'm not sure if you can see in my lighting, but it is starting to kind of wear a little bit because of the cardboard that I went through. And you can see that it's been scraped up here a little bit too. So it's probably not your toughest DLC coating if it is, but it's good that it has a coating, because 10V is not a stainless steel. Like, it's not like you look at it and it rusts, but it's, I mean, if you leave apple juice on it overnight, it's going to develop a patina or a stain on it. All right, so it is like fully flat, plain edged. Now, the other thing about this edged, this blade here is another knock as I had is this Ricasso here. I'm not sure if you can see. You can see the light glinting off it. It was a little bit of thick where it met the Ricasso here, the edge, the blade. So I ended up putting a very small choil in there, sharpener's choil, and I think it was more or less just for the fact that I like the way it looks a lot better than the fact that it's going to recurve. Like this will, through repeated sharpenings, this one will start to recurve, but because it's 10V, you're not going to probably have to sharpen this enough for a recurve is going to develop, at least for quite some time. Now, it is fairly light here at 4.5 ounces. It does have some steel liners in there that it's a really hard time seeing them, but I did shine a light in there, and they are, they've had some holes drilled them, so it does save a little bit of weight here. At 4.5 ounces for, a knife that's, just a smidge under 8 inches with just a almost 3.25 inch blade. That is a nice big thick blade. It is, fairly light. I didn't notice this in the pocket give me saggy pants or nothing like that. But I did notice the fact that it is extremely wide here. I'd say this is probably over 2 inches wide. Just the blade itself being 2.5 inches. I gotta say this is probably close to 2.5 inches wide. So it does take up part of the pocket. It is really super thin here at 0.46 of an inch. So it is less than half an inch wide, but it is, or half an inch thick, but it is extremely wide. So there is only, it only comes with, this version here only comes with tip up right hand carry only, but it is an extremely deep carry clip. So it gets hidden in the pocket really well. The only thing that you can really see of this knife when it's in your pocket is this clip. That's it. Now it is a liner lock, and you can see that the liner lock here is a nice early lockup. So you've got a lot of years with this knife here. And it is the other thing that I really liked about the designer. Now, what's the designer's name here? Now, Chris Conway. I think he understands the fact that you need to have a little bit of relief cut in the show side in order to get at your liner lock. And this is one of the few knives that I've seen lately. Like, I have a Giant Mouse 8 Grand that has micarta liners on it, and both liners are just about the same. And you can hardly, you got to kind of go in there and get the fat of your thumb in there to lock it or to unlock it. Where this one, it's got that nice big relief cutout. So it's so easy to access that liner and close. So it is extremely comfortable. The ergonomics on this knife are excellent, despite it being so thin. I like knives that, see, you can see it got some kind of a palm swell, but it's only kind of a 2D palm swell. I like knives that have a little bit more of a rounded, kind of more of a rounded liner where it fills the handle a little bit more. But this one, despite it being so thin, is actually fairly comfortable. Now, when I was cutting some cardboard, I ended up kind of quadrupling up the cardboard. And so a lot of the cardboard that I've been cutting up lately have been like, we got these meals that, 4 meals that deliver us once a week. And it comes in this really super thick cardboard box that's got insulating properties and all that stuff. So I kind of put 4 of those edges together, and it was quite thick, and it went through. I didn't even hardly need to bear down, but the little bit that I did was very comfortable. Despite it being so thin, it is rounded, and it is quite comfortable. Where sometimes things that are, the knives that are a little bit thinner can kind of give you that kind of hot spot in the palm of your hand, where I didn't really notice that with this at all. I felt it was quite comfortable. Now, it's an okay looking knife. I think what I might end up doing is I might end up dyeing these kind of purple. I like that idea of that black and purple. It kind of gives me that, as you can tell, I like dyed purple micarta. And I think I might turn this into kind of another little bit of a Deadpool version with not the Deadpool, but another little Joker knife here. But because, it's quite easy to dye. And you can see here too as well. It's got like a nice big handle to blade ratio. The blade is 3.25 inches long, with the handle being 4.375 inches. So it's got decent blade to handle ratio, enough that I've got double XL hands. I can grip it, and I can get a good solid grip on it where my pinky finger is not coming off the edge at all. Despite it not being a super piercer with the sheep's foot blade, it does pierce well, and it does lock your hand in there. So if you do have to do any sort of kind of piercing, your hand's not going to slide up or anything like that. That nice big kind of guard there is excellent. Now there is no jimping on the back here as well, but I don't know. It's a little bit slippery. I would have probably preferred some nice kind of jimping here. I think that's, but hey, but then that just makes it cost there a little bit more. Now it is made in China, but it does say on the website that it's USA sourced micarta. So the micarta is probably built in the USA and shipped over to China where the thing is put together. But they're doing a really excellent job, Kizer. I do believe Kizer is Wee Knives kind of entry level. And you know what? This knife the fit and finish on this knife was excellent. It was perfectly centered. Nothing was loose on it. Just overall, just a really pleasing, pleasant knife that has got a fantastic steel. Now, I don't know how many other places you're going to get yourself CPM-10V for under $100. So this one here is 89 US. Now, if we look at something similar here in Canada, let's just see here at House of Knives, a black DLC coated or just a black coated micarta SheepDog is $133, but you're getting 154 cm, a steel that is quite a bit. I mean, 154 cm is a good steel, don't get me wrong. It sharpens really well, takes a wicked edge, has okay edge retention and toughness, but it is not CPM-10V when it comes to hitting cardboard. This is unbelievable right through and through. Now, yeah, so I really, really like this. I think it's an excellent, excellent EDC knife out there that's not going to break the bank, especially when it comes pre-owned, something like this. So I'm not sure if you like my idea of dyeing this purple or not. If you leave some comments there, let me know if you think I should dye it purple, and if not, then I won't. If you think I should, I probably will, and then we'll have a look at it down the road and see what it looks like. I just like the fact that this micarta just sucks up the dye so well, and it just can hide any sort of, sometimes you get some little flaws and stuff like that. And, because your hands kind of get in there. It develops a patina itself, but when you kind of dye it, it looks like it's brand new. I just think it's cool, and I really like purple. That's one of my favorite colors. Well, hope you guys enjoyed. Have a look at this Kizer SheepDog with CPM-10V steel, this Blade HQ exclusive. So please stay safe out there. Keep your stick on the ice, the shiny side up. This is the Big Canucker saying adios.